Here is where we are at, the McFarland House, 1800s, built by John McFarland and his sons on land granted by the Crown. It's one of the oldest surviving structures in the Niagara district, and during the War of 1812 it was used as a hospital by both British and American forces and a British battery. Located behind the house protected the river. Oh, he was taken prisoner in 1813. So the war finished in 1815. When he returned, much of his property had been destroyed and the house badly damaged. The home was repaired and remained in the McFarland family for several generations. Well, they've kind of done a great job of restoring it, because look at that. That's awesome. Let's go and check it out.
Travel with LisaMH, pack my bags, come explore with me. From historic halls to quiet streets, every place has stories to me. Cemeteries, landmarks, memories, old stone paths and mysteries. I follow wonder wherever I am. Curiosity is my compass.
Doggy bundle in the background. Beautiful gardens. This is lovely. Very nice. Wow. We've had our passes scanned and now I'm waiting for the tour to start. It starts here.
Been doing. So John McFarland was born in 1752 in Paisley, Scotland, making him a British person. And he, for his first career, actually grew up, he joined the British Navy, and he did that for a while, for around 20 years. Not as a fighter, he was not doing hand-to-hand combat or as a soldier. He was a shipbuilder, so more of an engineer, architectural type guy, where he would actually design the ships and help build them, and then send the soldiers out on their way. So he was more on the internal side of the Navy here, and he did that for around 20 years. And as he kept going, he raised up the ranks in the navies, and he had a very, very, very good reputation with the government. He must have been one of the best shipbuilders ever, because when he retired, they said, well, thank you so much for your service, John. How could we thank you? Well, we're going to thank you by giving you a whole bunch of land. And that land is right here. So he was granted land here in Niagara-on-the-Lake, which includes all of this park and also all of those wineries that you see out there, because originally he was granted around 600 acres of land. So that is a lot of land to just acquire out of nowhere. And in 1798, he came over from Scotland to here to start his new life with the land that he has acquired. And then he started building this house. It took him around 2 years to build, so finished construction in year 1800. And after they capture Fort George, which is down the parkway that way, they pull up to John and they say, hey man, can we have some horses? And John, being born in Scotland and he served in the British Navy, he's a very proud British person. He said, no, I'm not giving you my horses. Go away. Go back to your side of the river. We don't, go away. He says, I don't want you here. Stop invading. Go away. And he kind of shooed them off his property. Like, what? Shoot, go away. And they listened. They said, oh, okay, fine, whatever. We won't bother you now. But they remembered that. They held a bit of a grudge. And as the war continued, it got a little worse, got a little more violence. They came back and they said, hey, buddy, you can't treat us like that. You're going to jail. And that's exactly what happened. And he got forcibly removed from his home and put into a jail in upstate New York in a town called Greenbush. And he stayed in that jail for around 3 years, or for the remainder of the war. In the meantime, this house was taken over by the soldiers and turned into kind of like a military base / hospital. So after that war ended, everyone leaves, and John is released from prison. So he comes back, and remember, if we think about John, he built this house himself. He loves this house. He raised all his kids in this house. And it was said that when he came back, he saw the destruction that kind of happened to this house during the war. And it was said that he passed away very shortly after due to the shock of the situation. Solely just due to the shock. He couldn't handle it. And that is actually what's written on his gravestone as his cause of death, that he was enervated. So enervated, which means the energy drained out of you. That is what his children wrote as his cause of death, although there's other stuff going on. He was older. He was in jail for 3 years, so there could have been other stuff going on as well, but that is what's written as his cause of death. This story ends quite depressingly, but we can put a positive spin on it and say that the children managed to come back to the house and save it and pass it down through generations. So John gave it to his son John Jr., who gave it to James Jr., he gave it to his daughter Jessie, Jessie gave it to her son Charles. Charles grew old and he had no wife or kids to put anything in like a will, so he went in 1942 to the Niagara Park, said, "Hey, can I please sell you my house? Will you make it a museum?" They said, "Sure." And it was sold, and by 1959 it was renovated in what we have here today as a museum.
So this part here is part of the original house. The descendants of McFarland built this side. So this is an add-on. You can see rock built. John McFarland was like the brick built. So this is an extension effectively, but some really interesting history with regards to McFarland and this house. If only walls could talk. If only they could talk. Amazing. Love it. So I'm going to take you around the house because this would have been the front of the house. Basically, he was gifted so much land. All of these wineries over there, all of this park area and beyond belonged to John McFarland, the McFarland family. They were a wealthy family. But that is his front door. Wow. This is so awesome. I love it. Imagine back in the day. I mean, as we know, it was taken over as a hospital by the Americans at some point and kind of wrecked the house. You heard the tour guide telling us that when McFarland was released from prison in 1815, after there was a ceasefire, he came back, saw the damage to his house and died shortly after that. But it remained in the family for many, 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 many years. And then the last descendant, who didn't have any children or wasn't married, sold it to the Canada parks effectively, and asked that they make it into a museum, which they have done. Awesome. That's pretty cool as well, that the gazebo where that's standing now used to be the McFarland well, and there is still water down there. They've just covered it up effectively. But that's pretty awesome, isn't it? I love it. That's a nice view of it. The old house, that side, which would have been a mansion back in the day, effectively. And then the extension added later. There's tea rooms in there now and a little gift shop. Very interesting place, very interesting history. The whole area, I keep saying it, but the whole area steeped in history, mainly regarding the War of 1812, of course, but there you go. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. It's free to you, doesn't cost you a penny, but does support the channel. Thanks for watching. Take care, everybody.